Welcome to 1111, which is a segment from my podcast where I talk about a topic for 11 minutes and 11 seconds. Today's topic is love real? Valentine's Day. This was supposed to be uploaded for Valentine's Day, but I um I was low-key going through it, so because every day should be like every day you should love your partner or yourself or whomever you celebrated on Valentine's Day. I feel like you should low key do that every day, or like. But anyways, is love real? Short answer is yes. Thank you. See you next week. Um, Long answer. I think that love is learned or taught, or um that can either be taught by yourself or like taught, either by your parents or by your family or by the people around you. I feel like it's usually taught by parents, but not a lot of people receive that. I think on my end, I feel like I received unconditional love till I was like 15, and I started like bucking against like what they wanted from me. Um, so I was like, wait, hold on. Um, and then I feel like with friends, I feel like usually it's very unconditional love, unless, they're not the right friends. But the friends that I have had for a long time, it stems from unconditional love. But I believe that that has come from me as well. I think I have had to like kind of like teach myself how to love. Like, you learn from the people that love you to a certain extent, and so you kind of learn how not to love like them. So you learn how to love the way you want to be loved. And so I think that's the only way that you receive love, if you love others. I feel like there's also like love is such a beautiful like concept that I love to think about all the time, because there's love for people, there's love for yourself, there's also love for life, which I feel like is a very beautiful part of love, that we're able to like the emotion of love itself. I feel like it's such a beautiful emotion, and like so like I think it's very. Are we the no? I don't know if that's true. I don't know if, correct me if I'm wrong, but are we not the only mammals that are able to like love? No, isn't it like emotion? There's something that we as humans have that animals don't, which I feel like it's something that we're very lucky to have. I don't know if it even has to do with love, but what I'm trying to get at is we have this like form of appreciation as humans to love life, that I think sometimes I tend to like forget about. Like, girl, like, you are alive, and like love life is beautiful, and like, like, obviously there's going to be like difficult times, like, obviously, like, I don't think, you know I feel like, how are you gonna build character, girl? Like, how are you gonna write a book about your life if there's nothing going on, like, if there's nothing wrong going on in your life? Like, if there's nothing going wrong in your life, how are you gonna get like, how are you gonna like, I don't know. I feel like the moments that I've always felt like I hit rock bottom, I'm like, no, you know what, like, this is okay, like, I got this and whatever, and like that makes me love life so much more, because I'm like, no, you know what, like, my life is beautiful regardless of like whatever I'm going through. um and sometimes I feel like when we love, we sometimes tend to like uh expect love in return. So something that I've been working on is just loving and just being as, I feel like love is like a tree, and like there's things that like stem out of the love tree, which is like being nice, and like, not being rude. I guess that's just the opposite, girl, duh. But like, like, just being like a nice human being. Like, I think that stems from love for others. Like, no matter if it's like a stranger or whatever. I feel like it's very important to be nice. you never know what type of day people are having. I like usually tend not to like talk about people's appearances or like what they're wearing, or I don't know, like just a form of bullying. I think sometimes I feel like, especially in the queer community, it's very silly to like be shady, and like sometimes, it's like, oh, let's be shady, and like that's funny because like, I'm gay. Because I'm gay, so it's fine. Low key, it will be like your own community being like your biggest bully. And that just does not feel good, and so I feel like that does not stem from love, girl. um I don't know. I think it's like there's like playful shady and like, but like I think when you're just out, when you're just being rude, you know. And it's like that comes from people that hate themselves. That comes from people projecting. And so I don't hate myself. I'm sorry. I do not hate myself. I'm not trying to be like a narcissist because that's crazy. I'm not a Capricorn, but I if you're a Capricorn, I love you. You are hardworking. You are amazing. You are like, you know what you want. But sometimes you love to just kidding. Sometimes you love yourself a little too much. But just kidding. No, just kidding. Just kidding. You're perfect. Anyways, as I was saying, I love myself, so I'm not going to like hate on others because that's not who I am. I'm not gonna project, because there's nothing to project, babe. Peace and love. Like, I think it's probably the ugliest like thing that I can probably, like, an ick that I have for people is like when they're rude and like they're bullies. Like, you always know about someone how they treat like people at the gas stations, like at the cashiers, like waitresses, all those things. And you always kind of see their character and you're like, wait, hold on. Like, are you a mean girl? That doesn't stem from love. Like, I think love is just beautiful. And I think obviously love is also like a soulmate, or like, maybe not a soulmate, but I kind of don't believe in soulmates. Okay, no. Okay, hold on. I believe that you have multiple soulmates, and I believe that soulmates can be family, soulmates can be friends, soulmates can be strangers, soulmates, but not just one, and especially in a relationship. I think that pressure in like a relationship is kind of silly and like kind of low key a little like you really don't have to think it that way. But I believe that like obviously love and soulmates are tied in, and it's with you have multiple, and I also believe that like you don't always keep in contact with them, but you still have that connection within your heart. So like, like whenever you do run into each other, like you're like, hey, like whatever, and like it's like if nothing had happened, or like if there was like such little communication throughout the period you didn't see each other, and when you do see each other, it's like, well, I feel like that's this form of soulmates. I feel like your friends that you kind of have that relationship with, that's a form of soulmates. I don't think it's extremely deep and like extremely insane how like sometimes it's portrayed as this like you have to like go to like the other end of the world and like look for one singular person, and then you're gonna marry this person and you're gonna be like perfectly soulmates. I don't think it's that deep. I think in life you just have these like soulmates, and like like it's just like your friends that like you literally love, and like you're perfect. I have friends that I'm like, you're perfect, like you are perfect to me. I have different perfect standards. And I'm like, oh, you're perfect. I think that's like a level of soulmate because you just like click so well. I do think there's like a period of like tests, and for me it's always a year. Like, what happens in a year? Like, let's see. But I think love is it's if you don't have love in your life, try to like look within. Look within. But I promise you, if you're watching this, like, you probably do have love in your life. Like, if you feel like you don't have love in your life, you do. Like, I promise you, you do. Um, and if you genuinely don't, you always have yourself to love. There's this quote. It's so corny. It's so like Hobby Lobby, or maybe not Hobby Lobby. It's so Michaels, and it's like, um, the love of your life is the love of your life. And it's so true. Like, you have to love yourself. Like, you really do have to love yourself. And like, I'm trying to say this in the most non-corny way, but like, in order to have love around you, and to like, you know, what's that word called when you like attract? Sorry, when you in order for you to attract love, in order for you to be loved, whatever, you have to love yourself, and you have to be loved. In order to get love, you have to be loved. So yes, love is real. I'm here to tell you, love is real. And I hope we all experience love. Anyways, love you. I'll see you next week. Yeah. Mwah. Bye.